I want to go over the main items dealing with real estate acquisition when you're dealing with sellers and how you get these deals done quickly, but maximum profitability. So step number one is when a lead comes in, your pre-setup to the appointment is huge. So you want to make sure that you ask these specific questions in this specific way, and it's going to help you. Number one, when a seller actually calls you, if you have any kind of lead forms or any kind of marketing out and they're calling you, what you want to ask them is, number one, you're building a rapport, number one, then asking information about the property, doing the research, right? Over the phone, you're actually doing some basic research. You want to make sure, number one, are they the signing authority on the property? And you can look this up as well. Make sure it's just not him and the wife, because if they're separated, you want to make sure the person's actually ready to sign. The other aspect that you want to look for is you want to actually ask them as well. So tell me about the property. Tell me, if you were a GC, what would you do to the property if you were a general contractor? And then let them talk, period. Just let them talk. Whatever they say, nothing wrong. Now, here's the other thing. Now, asking about price. Now, this is how you set this up for maximum profitability. Oh yeah, and if you don't know who I am, my name is Franklin Cruz. I'm from True Investors Development. I've done a ton of different deals. And one of the major deals I did was take one house to 41 houses, sold it to KB Home for $1.25 million. Then they turned around and named the street after me. Super cool. And then I did 20 other projects, but I'm going off of acquisitions that I've done every single time that take me from residential to commercial. So this works on both sides, residential and commercial. So the other aspect that you want to ask right before you get off the phone with them is you want to ask them and say, look, this sounds like a great property. Why do you want to sell? You always want to know why they want to sell before the price. Then now you're digging into, okay, well, tell me about the price, right? So now what you're dealing with the price, the second thing, or the fifth thing I think I'm going over, now we're talking about price. So whatever they say dealing with price, that's fine. Whatever number they say, typically what I would do is I always ask them, say, look, if they say 290 or 400,000, whatever they say, number is irrelevant. You say, let me ask you, and then go down $10,000 and say, hey, if they say 290, say, hey, would 275 kill this deal? And then shut up. Now, the main reason why you want to ask that is you want to figure out, one, are they even going to be negotiable? Now, if they say, no, I don't really know. Now, again, you're saying, hey, I haven't seen the property yet. I still got to see the property. But you want to find out what's the temperature check on negotiations. Are they negotiable at all? Figure that out. That's a huge deal. The other aspect is, if they say no, that's fine as well. But now here's the third question. Before you ever see a property, before you ever want to go to the property, you always want to ask them as well. So let me ask you. I'm going to be going to that property. So if we both agree upon the property, you're ready to sign today. Now, if they can't answer that question, that they're ready to sign today, don't schedule the appointment. Don't go and see the appointment. What you want to do is you want to make sure 100% that they are ready to sign today. So if you bring in a contract, and you can ask them, say, hey, if I bring a contract and I agree upon your price, I agree, 290, I like the property, everything looks good, the land, whatever, are you ready to sign today? If they say, well, I'm still kind of shopping around, that's fine. Just say, hey, when would you want me to call you back so we can reschedule? The main reason why is you want to deal with somebody who's actually ready to sign, who's actually ready to do a deal, rather than window shopping. So my recommendation is always think about the process. Gather information, build rapport, figure out, if they're a general contractor, what repairs need to happen. These are all just pre-work before the appointment, right? But these are very important because you just don't want to show up to the appointment ever and not have all this information. And then at the same time too, you're asking, hey, it sounds like a great property. Why do you want to sell? Just figure out what's going on. People are human, man. Just like, I'm huge into what's going on in your world. I've had a conversation with people at the hospital. They're going through medical issues, going through a divorce. Hear them out. We're their problem solvers, really. Sometimes we're just their therapists and just listening. And at the same time too, yeah, you happen to be an investor, but this is kind of these are kind of the capes that we put on sometimes. You know, our cape is going to be therapist. Our cape could be bodyguard, all kinds of handyman, GC, developer. So, and then you want to make sure, are they the ones signing? You know, is it them and their wife? Who is it? And then the very last one is dealing with price. You know, you're asking, hey, if I agree upon price and you agree upon price, are you ready to sign? Period. All right, hopefully this helps. If it does, then you're kind of that individual as well that you're like, man, you know, I need more training in this. I've got a whole bunch of case studies that you can check out. Go to trueinvestors.com, and I've got over 117 case studies that you can, hopefully this gives you some more help. All right, bye.